96.5. Alice. The Love Court is in session.
Instant roll call this morning. Bill is here.
Deanna's here.
Chris is here.
Sound very serious because we bring in all
Deanna's
rise.
here.
Jessica Anderson from Anderson Couture.
Jessica's
I am here.
All right, very cool. Jessica, how are you doing? Getting all fired up for the weekend?
Yep. Ready for the smoke to roll out of here. It looks pretty good today,
I know.
actually.
The sky looked so blue this morning. My husband sent me a photo because it's not sunny out when I go to work.
Well, it feels like it's 100% better than it was yesterday because yesterday it was pretty bad.
I know.
Yeah.
But Jessica, it wouldn't be a Friday unless we did the Love Court, as we do every single Friday here on the show. And we have a custody issue this morning from one of our BFFs.
Yeah, this is a sad one, tough one. Dear Jessica, my daughter is 8 years old. Her mom and I were never married, but we were together until my daughter was 4, and then we lived nearby one another for the last 4 years. We never went to court, but we shared my daughter equally. In June this year, she told me that she had a family emergency in Oregon and that she was taking my daughter with her. She said she would be back in a few weeks. It's now been 2 months. Last week I asked her when she was coming back because school was starting. She said she wanted to stay in Oregon indefinitely with my daughter and that she gave up her lease here in Reno. She started talking about a new custody schedule that included my daughter living mostly in Oregon and going to school there. I'm beside myself. This is not what I want. Do I even have a choice at this point?
Oh, my God. Does he? Because he
know,
okayed the original trip?
No, he okayed a vacation, a temporary absence from the state. Right. He did not okay a permanent relocation, but this is the perfect example of why you should always have a court-approved parenting plan and a court order,
right,
even when you have an amicable relationship.
Because now it's just he said, she said.
Well, it's not even that. Now he's got to go through a whole process in order to even get in front of a judge. So if he had an order, he would simply file, if he already had a case established, and a custody order, he would just file a motion to have mom held in contempt and have the child returned to Nevada. Because the law is that a parent may not relocate a child from Nevada to another state without the other parent's written consent or the court's authorization. So what mom has done could technically be classified as a Class B felony. If she were my client, I would be advising her that she bring the daughter back to Reno immediately, and then she has to ask the court's permission before she relocates. But what this dad needs to do is, number one, he's got to establish a case. So he has to file a petition to establish custody and support. Simultaneously and then mom has to be personally served it's a lawsuit. So she has to be served in Oregon. And then he also needs to file a motion for the immediate return of the child to Nevada and get a hearing set right away. He could try to do this on an emergency basis because technically, school started and the child isn't in school.
Right.
I think some judges might consider that, an emergency concerning the child's welfare. But the child's not really in danger, so it's possible that motion will be denied. But certainly ask for an expedited hearing.
Wouldn't it be easier just to move? Wouldn't it be easier for him at this point, like logistically speaking, just to find a job down there and go? It sounds like a process. Like everything you just said sounded so daunting.
Yeah, but what she did is wrong. I would not expect him to. He lives here. His daughter lives here.
His job's here.
Nevada is the only state that has jurisdiction because she hasn't been in Oregon long enough for Oregon to have custody jurisdiction. So he's got to file here anyway. And it's totally not fair what she did. She basically duped him.
Not.
And I don't know, maybe her circumstances, maybe she had a sick mother or something. And I don't know the emergency that brought her to Oregon, but she unilaterally made a decision that the child was going to stay there, and that's just not how it works.
Jessica, what would you say to a client if they popped in your office and you're doing their divorce for them, and you're like, "Oh, we don't have to worry about that because we get along. We're going to be the best of friends."
That happens. That happens all the time. But if they're in my office, obviously they're going to get a court order ultimately, so that's good. But I have had